hiring more crackheads, more tweakers, and all that stuff. And you can't be giving people that kind of information and expect them not to talk.
Yeah. Hey, Peace Punks, would you be comfortable if you show your camera?
I really totally wouldn't. I always do, but on this laptop, my camera doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, never mind. Give me a few seconds. I'm just gonna close my cabinet because
yeah.
it doesn't
Cheers.
look doesn't look good in my background.
No worries, but sometimes I would say the only reason you should do that is because in case on any TIs joining, and depends on how they're getting targeted, stuff in the background, the way certain cameras are looked at, etc. There's so many weird little things, and as soon as they notice it once, the system will push on it. So it's a good idea to always do that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Wait, anyways, Peace Punks, would you like to introduce yourself so we get to know you more?
Yeah, so pretty much I'm an activist, pretty young. I play a lot of music, and I've always been pretty much for the people, human rights, etc. And ultimately what got me to the TI stuff was children and the youth and like sex trafficking and stuff. And then I seen these pages, and I have a few people that I have known that about these subjects that pretty familiar with it. I didn't understand it, and then I came to understand it, and yeah, it's the sickest shit ever. And I don't like people feeling in a negative state, and I understand this stuff. I feel personally pretty well, but there's always more to learn, and you should always stay open. And yeah, I'm definitely I will always support target individuals. This shit grosses me out so much, and it's just such a like a it's not necessarily a stressful topic, but when you're trying to help so many different people who are targeted in so many different ways, and belief systems and all different other types of stuff,
Yeah.
it may get a little wild, and it'll push on their emotions and their feelings and their nerves when you're interacting with them. So it's like it just sucks because you always have to watch out for what you say, what you do, how you move, everything in general. And with audio and video manipulation and everything that just tries to keep playing with it. And ultimately it's the emotions and the computer and the feeling stuff that's on their end, like how there's just so much, and it's just like it's just a mix of like continuous 24/7. So I understand it pretty well. It's pretty basic. It's just yeah, it's sick, man.
Yeah.
But
So
overall, yeah.
so we're clear. You're not a TI, right?
No, just an
Okay.
activist. And
Okay.
I have a few friends who've been pretty familiar with this stuff, and yeah,
Okay.
shit grosses me out.
So you're basically I let you in because of Sherry's request, and
Mm.
Thank you.
and I've seen your videos. So I mean you're doing a great work for the community. But yeah, you're the first non-TI that I let in.
I appreciate it a lot,
Yeah,
man. And
because I don't really allow anybody, especially non-TIs. But for in your case, just keep up the work, man, and I hope you know you be consistent and follow the rules. You know.
yeah,
So,
consistent in everything. Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Consistent in everything. I think consistency is really, really important. And
it is.
it's just overall, it's if I could say one thing to all TIs in the Facebook page, it's like I'm not trying to I don't like telling this to a lot of TIs because it just because the support groups are really, really cool. But then again, Facebook is literally, if you look at it from a psychological operations standpoint, Facebook is an online application. You can create an account and then join those support groups, and then you literally just post up and click up with people and act cool with them, and then all of a sudden you're in and you're accepted and stuff. And then depends on how you can use that way. You can use that stuff in a malicious way. You can talk shit about people. You can say negative stuff.
Exactly.
You can do all
Exactly.
types of stuff. But Facebook
Yeah.
is just an online application, and overall, it's like it's cool because the support groups still help people out. But overall, the chances of people not being so real, etc., it's really high, man. If you understand how what gang stalkers do and how low the credentials are, Facebook Online
Oh, we
has to
do.
be in the same exact aspect too as well. And I just want people, if you see people ever talking crap to each other, trying to be negative, try to promote it in a positivity, because the AI and the Facebook algorithm will
Exactly.
show them on their Facebook application, and then they'll look at it, and depending on if they're in a negative state or they're trying to get that negative shit, the
Yeah.
the algorithm is going to get pushed to their cell phone, dude, and they're going to see a bunch of shit. And it's
All right.
like overall,
So
I'm trying to say pretty much they need to start people need to start like really pushing forward with the idea that they have. If they have the idea, don't get your brain fumigated, and don't let it distract.
yeah,
Consistency, like they need to push forward with what they believe in and what they do. And
and
I do see
yeah,
that a lot of
and
TIs
yeah, and one thing you need to be aware of, especially us TIs, is we've been traumatized for a very long time. We have pain and suffering that you can never understand unless you're in it.
Yeah.
So
Facts, 100%.
be careful when you're dealing with us, and because we are, our emotional baggage is very heavy. So just
Word.
it's
I'm very well aware. But
and
I told you guys this because overall, Owen, I see what you're doing, and you have taken it to a next step, and you are doing it on a more professional level, and you stand out pretty hard and well. So that's one of the only reasons I'm saying this, because I feel like you guys can definitely handle it.
thank
And
you. Well,
anytime, dude,
we're
100%.
we're trying, man. We're trying our best, and there's few levels in this. So especially for Kerry and for the rest of the guys that have strong V2Ks, they're in a different level.
Yeah.
So
Also as uh, I apologize for interrupting, but also as well, in case, from what I've studied and what I've looked at, so the V2K, so whether the V2K is being a really low audible, if it's trying to create, if it's doing it to where you can't understand it, but then it's trying to subconsciously create, it's trying to make you create some words for it, and then it'll repeat it, and then it'll do the subconscious type talks.
Yes.
Yeah, overall, it's not the fact that the V2K is actually doing anything. It's the neuroreceptor in your brain that's making it pay attention. Because if you can do the V2K and you'll ignore the shit out of it, or you ignore the heck out of it. And if you can do you can pretty much do anything and make it in a positive targeting style, a neutral targeting, and negative targeting. Do you understand that?
Kerry, would you like to answer that question?
Okay. I have tested that theory. You are right about it'll send out words and phrases, and then it'll test the person to see how their brain fills in the missing words, and
Correct.
it'll
And
use
also,
that against you. But even when I'm thinking entirely positive, and I have these prayers that I'll say in my head before bed, like when I do that and I focus more on being positive and like wishing everyone well, and they'll start targeting me harder and they'll start hurting me more. Like the more positive, the more I ignore them, the more they want to get my attention. The more positive things I say and do and focus on, and the like general prayers that I do, like there's this prayer that I like to say. I usually say it in my head, but sometimes I'll say it out loud, like, may all beings be happy, healthy, peaceful, and free, and may all beings be released from suffering. I'm wishing everyone well. I'm wishing every like positive, loving kindness on every little living thing on earth and all people, including the people who are targeting us. And then they're like, but like, oh no, you're not supposed to be nice. We've shown you in a negative light. You're supposed to be bad. So you're the bad guy. So they'll like hurt me worse to try to get me angry.
Yeah, pretty much it'll I mean, it always wants the negativity. So anything positive is good. Ultimately, positivity, companionship, teamwork, and ultimately positivity in general is its ultimate weakness, man. And whatever people try and say about whatever the system is, it is fully put on blast. Me personally, I've looked at it from so many different ways. I've talked to so many different people, great credentials, all different types of credentials, and it's fully exposed, dude, 100%. It's just the levels of how it's exposed and what is exposed. But most people, when they find out about this stuff, it's like, whether they know hell information or not, they know it's weird, they know it's invasive, and if you can understand what basic communication forms they are using, so can people who aren't so we'll call it intelligence, knowledge, smart, etc. They get the idea too, but even if they don't dive into it too well. But this is definitely it's exposed in a major way, 100%. There's no doubt about it. It's just going to be a psychological tactic. Like if you understand complicity, secrecy agreements, non-disclosures, you have to be ignorant and you have to stay quiet and you have to just repeat. It's really basic, dude. And they basically
what do you mean? Okay. What do you mean by stay quiet? Like as in like don't talk to them, don't respond to them out loud?
Oh no,
or
like
are you saying don't talk about what they're doing, because that's what we're doing right now. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
No, not you guys, not TIs. People who have those kind of jobs don't talk about real details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
their number one rule, is like, don't talk about Fight Club. Don't talk about what we're doing. Don't talk about our technology. Their number one rule is secrecy. Yeah,
Simplicity,
that is
etc.
that is the foundation for the entire operation is secrecy. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
it's a really basic formula, but it just wants you to dive into rabbit holes. But you have to remember this stuff is really, really basic, and they stick to the basics. The rabbit holes and all the other stuff it tries to promote to TIs is just to get them to dive into BS so they don't stay on track. But this stuff is very formulated and it's very basic.
Yeah, it's a distraction.
Correct, 100%. And it's a continuous distraction because you have to deal with so much artificial. You have to deal with the brain stuff, whether it messes with your eyes, whether it tries to input on the dream stuff, the synthetic dreams. It's the same exact thing when you're awake. So it's not necessarily a synthetic dream. Whether if it's trying to put words in your eyes, move your eyes, make your twitch, whether if it's doing stuff to your body physically in any way, shape, or form, it all boils back down to the mental and the subconscious. And even in the mental and the subconscious, it can make you feel like as if it's actually your mind running when it's actually inputting those words, inputting those thoughts, inputting in many, many weird ways, but it's not, it's weird and just wants you to fight with yourself, but it's ultimately fighting you at all times and you're not necessarily fighting it. It's so weird how it can just, it can input pretty well, pretty quickly. And most of the subconscious stuff isn't usually the TI. It's like, I don't want to get into detail, but yeah, basically, good job.
I have,
TIs,
I have,
dude.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Peace Pumps.
Yeah, man.
So most of the time when a non-TI gets involved with a TI, they basically include you in the harassment. So aren't you worried about it?
What do you mean?
Like you
They can
getting
target
involved,
you and attack
they-
you now
yeah.
because you're working to help us. You're
and
getting
it,
involved.
exactly. And it happens to many of my friends. Well, one
Yeah.
time, I tell you a story. One time I went to San Diego. My non-TI friend, very close to me. I went there to visit them. So he invited me to a hike trail. So we went to a hike trail. We came back and his car got a big scratch. And his car was brand new. Big scratch on the side where I was sitting. So,
Yes.
and
I've traveled thousands of miles and I've been really, really fine, really, really well. I've never gotten messed with. I do understand this stuff really, really well. I've been an activist for years, man.
so they don't mess with you?
I don't get messed with at all.
Interesting.
That's surprising.
That's very surprising. So
That is
Seriously.
surprising. It's
so
unusual.
be careful with that one because our eyes are locked on you. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just gonna be. I just gonna be direct. I'm gonna be direct and honest with you. So,
Facts. I'm fully aware of that 100%, no doubt about it. But
so if they don't have, so if they don't touch you, I'm gonna put a big question on you.
definitely.
Just a heads up, man.
100%.
We're not playing around here. So
Yeah.
so we.
Yeah, me neither, man. I'm here 100% to fully support the TI stuff. I would not be doing this in any way, shape, or form. There isn't any. You don't really get anything out of this, man. Like,
I know. But it's very surprising that they don't touch you because they always mess with non-TIs who gets involved with our community.
Yes.
I would also say that really does vary as well. Really look into the you make a great point, and for the most part, it may be true 100%. Overall, there's many levels, and there's so many intricate ways. It still revolves on the basic stuff because it's still a controller modules, and you can only do so much with that tech. But ultimately, there's so many ways to mix it. So overall, I would say stay open, but ultimately, you are definitely correct.
Okay.
One thing about it is that you understand the technology. I'm talking to Peace Punks. You understand the technology. You understand the neuro-linguistic programming. You understand the brainwashing. You understand the brainwashing program. They normally target people who have no freaking clue, who have not heard about any of this, who don't understand it. And it affects people a lot more when they don't understand because they think, oh, I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy. I have paranoid schizophrenia. I'm hearing voices and it's all my fault.
You
And
can
then
tie it all, you can tie everything that happens at TIs exactly back to the patents. And if you know how to break stuff down, it's really, really easy to break it down. Don't get off track and don't stay and just stay on track. And you can really break everything down super simply. And it all goes back to the patents. It all goes back to the whistleblower information. The information is all online. Everything else is just there to take you off track.
yes.
You can tie everything back to the patents, and it literally it stays formulated. It doesn't go too wild. It stays very formulated, and you can understand what it does. And if you understand that it tries to, like, if you take targeted individuals aside, don't think about target individuals, think about regular life here.
Yeah.
And the way people operate psychological operations, whether if it's for any kind of agency, organization, groups in general. Psychological operations, in order to drive someone crazy, you have to rely on a schizophrenic formula. So what do you do to create
Yes.
schizophrenia? You have to do schizophrenic type actions, but the complicity and the stuff staying quiet makes it gives it room so you can do schizophrenic type actions, but it revolves around a schizzy 5150 kind of wild formula. And I apologize if I said that, if it triggered anybody at all, which my bad. So ultimately you have to stay on
Yeah, you're right. It does need to mimic schizophrenia so that the target is always looked at as crazy
and it's not necessarily TI stuff. If you look at, remember, take TI out of it. This is just regular stuff. And a psychological
any mind control psychological operation
correct,
uses
100%.
the same formulas. Yes, I've been in a program before when I was 17, and it was the same tactics, the destructive criticism, the all negative feedback, especially the neuro linguistic programming, even some subliminal messages, like the just like put everybody in a state of fear and just constant terror. And trauma is a gateway. Trauma is the real gateway drug. Trauma is the foundation for every program.
Yeah.
It's like as if they can traumatize everybody in some way, shape, or form.
You have to understand though as well. So the trauma, a lot of the trauma that exists in TI stuff, it depends, because all brains are differently, whether people want to say chemical imbalances, previous experiences and stuff, etc.
Yeah.
The TI stuff is very artificial. It should maintain on your brain a 24/7 artificial manipulation type system, whether if it's doing the physical stuff or the brain stuff. A lot of it is running artificial. So when people say that they're triggered, a lot of it is a computer trigger. It's not real. It's not legit. And it's literally the computer that's maintaining it. And AI is involved heavily in it. But I don't want to be one of those people who say, "Oh, it's AI." It's no way. It's people. AI is controlled, so a lot of it will be people.
It's both. It's
yeah,
both. There are people employed, but
Yeah.
AI is what is continuously running 24/7.
correct. So a lot of people that say they get triggered or don't say this or don't say that, it's like they have to understand that, for the most part, if and this is a lot of it is artificial. It's not whether it's being inputted in your brain, whether for vision or in the subconscious, physically or mentally. It'll do the physical, it'll roll back to the subconscious, back to the eyes, all type. It just repeats. But ultimately, a lot of it is artificial, and they're not real triggers. They're fake to the. Hold on. But yeah, I hope you guys understand that. 1 second.
Yes, we've been artificially sensitized to certain words, phrases, patterns, colors.
So Kerry, I have a question. So every time I go to the gym,
Okay.
They have the front desk, employees over there, and
Okay.
every time I come near, I don't see them, but I'm very close. The distance is very close, and I hear mocking and laughter, and I look around. Their faces were not doing it.
Right.
So I was wondering if that's V2K, because it's very consistent. It's like
I assume so.
Oh, can I say something on that?
The same thing in a lot of situations. Like at first I thought that people were actually laughing at me all the time and making fun of me all the time.
But they're not.
And yeah, I thought people were yelling at me because they accused me of yelling when I yelled back at them. They're like, no, you started it. You started it by yelling. I had no idea what V2K was at the time. They're like, well, they still continue that thing. Like, oh, well, you started it. You started messing with us first. And that's not true. It's just at the time
Never, it's never true. Ever.
I didn't know that it was V2K. I didn't
Yeah.
know what V2K was. I thought they were yelling at me. And like, I put up with it for a while. And then finally it was like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, why are they talking shit about me all the time and calling me a bitch and like all this stuff? Like, why are they doing that? And I didn't know it was V2K. I didn't know. I didn't know what that was. Nobody talks about that shit.
They're trying to do it to me. They're trying to do it to me every time I go to the gym. So
yeah,
I was gonna.
it's probably V2K. You're right. If you cannot, that is okay. There was a patient in the hospital because I noticed that everybody in the hospital, when I was in the hospital, everybody was being targeted. Everybody was like looking up, like they were receiving messages, like they were listening. They were listening to try to follow instructions. A lot of people some people were trying to ignore it. Some people were just like, I'm listening to them. I'm obeying them because like with the hopes that they're going to leave you alone, but it's a life sentence. So they're not going to leave you alone no matter what you do. So don't fucking obey them because it just makes it worse. The more they control you at one point, the more they're going to try to control you more and more and more until you're fully mind controlled and they can make you do anything.
Oh yeah.
You know? So yeah, like if you hear the laughing and you hear them like mocking you and like heckling you, like I realized with what the patient told me, he's like, she knows how to read lips. He's kind of sending me the message, watch people's mouths, pay attention, look at what they're doing. Do you see them talking? Do you see them talking? Do you see them laughing? Look at their mouth, look at their facial expression. If you hear them laughing or you hear them making fun of you, but you don't see their mouth doing anything, or they're talking about something else and it doesn't match, it's V2K.
Yeah. And
he didn't specifically say V2K, but
they keep doing that to me. They keep doing it to me in the gym, and I knew it's V2K because why would a gym employee mock a member who's paying them? It's not logical. So and I check it out, every time I check it out, they're very serious. And then when I'm doing my thing, I hear the laughter and him mocking. And then
Owen, I really wanted to say, first of all, you work out, you look really, really good. The results are there. And
thank you.
You are very consistent. So good job. And amongst all the artificial you have to deal with as well on the laughing and all that other stuff. That is also a main formulation. If you look at any other TI, the same stuff happens to them, but it wants to singulate it out as if it's different, but it's the same formulation, it's the same patterns. That laughing stuff is either supposed to get angry, sadness, embarrassment, making fun, etc. And it doesn't go too far, but it really and amongst that is the artificial. So it's really usually the artificial and it's not you. So I don't know, honestly, just good job and keep kicking ass because you look good and fuck those motherfuckers, dude.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I know it was V2K because they're trying to shit on me. And if I hear some voices, I will talk shit to them. I can talk shit 24/7 nonstop. And I've been doing it, when I'm even walking on the streets. And I've been doing it when I don't have any V2K. I just talk shit, man. I put up my phone like this, and I'm walking on the street and just talking shit to them because I know they're listening. And
check this out. Everything that you guys have experienced, you have read their brains, you have read their formulas, and you know what they do. Every day is going to be the same exact shit, but it's going to try and make it feel like something new, but it's not. It's all the same shit. They're not writing the frequencies that you guys are writing. So ultimately, you read their brains and you know everything that they're going to do. And technically, talking shit to them, that's literally what they do to you, bro.
Exactly. And I don't care. Like, bring it on. Like, when I'm bored,
they're evil pieces of fucking shit. Dude,
yeah, they
holy fuck.
When I'm bored, go ahead, Kerry.
Something that they kind of hinted, like they were trying to recruit me, so they let me know a lot of the inside secrets over V2K that they were not supposed to tell me about. Like, God, now I just lost my train of thought. Thank you, I appreciate it when you do that. So what was it? Darn it.
No worries.
When like, okay. Shit.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story of how I deal with this V2K. So every time I step outside, you know, I keep hearing those laughters, those mockings, and even people in the public, you know, I could hear, like weird stuff. So I was like, so I talk shit, and then I even challenge them, like, hey, if you guys wanna give me anxiety and stress, I want you guys to bring in 3 fire trucks together. Just make me anxious and stressed out. And I'm telling you, they're not gonna do. I keep telling them, bring me those fire trucks, and they don't. And if they don't, I tell them, you guys are cheap motherfuckers. You guys don't have budgets. I thought you guys have a lot of money stressing people out. Stress me out. I'm just gonna laugh at you. And you know what they're trying to do? They took out the fire trucks. Like, where's the fire truck? I'm looking for the fire truck because now the fire trucks are making me happy. So anything that makes you happy, they try to take it away.
They do, dude. It's so basic. And I was gonna say, keep pushing forward because no matter how stressed you are, they're still pissed, and whatever it is, they're still gonna be mad, and they're still gonna talk shit. And it doesn't matter if you feel like shit. It still trumps their feelings, dude. It's insane. And I always want TIs to know, no matter what, it's like when you understand how much piece of shit they are, no matter how you feel, if you feel like sad, all angry, they feel much worse, and they get off on they're like the narcissistic Stockholm fiends, dude.
Yes.
It's so basic. You can say so much negative shit about these people, but ultimately, no matter how a TI feels, it fucking smashes them, dude.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. The program, everybody involved, including the game stalkers, all the new hirees, all the new recruits, everybody is brainwashed and reprogrammed. Everybody. So the programming and the how they train them, the training, it erases their ability to feel empathy. It erases their conscience. It blocks it. It blocks it. They can't. They can repeat phrases that involve the implication, like, we care about children and you did that and that's wrong and blah 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 blah, and they'll say that, but they literally have no concept of right and wrong. They might have had that before.
That's on the side of positive targeting and neutral targeting. It's so wild and it's so weird, but all the negative stuff it can do, think about all the neutral stuff targeting. Study the positive style of targeting.
Let me interrupt, Robert. It says this meeting will end in 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, then we're done.
Okay.
Continue.
Oh, cheers. Just overall study the neutral and positive stuff of targeting, because when it's literally preying on sick shit or like real stuff that's like a real life deal, ultimately it's going to try and target that, like, as if, oh, we don't give a fuck you. And that's one of the main formulations as well. It does the TIs. Overall, what it can do to the person is it can do the positive and neutral style of targeting. The TIs getting all the negative shit.
Yeah. Well,
and sometimes they use the other people too, just for like creepy ass whatever the fuck they're trying to do. They even knock their own people down, but they still just do whatever they do. It's so sick. And I don't know.
If they make a mistake, or if they say something wrong or do something wrong, or if they break a rule, or if they say too much or reveal a secret, yes, they are punished. Yeah. And they're like, well, we didn't want to torture you. We had to. Like, we didn't want to hurt you, but we had to.
Yeah. Anyone who invades your life and
everyone has a fucking choice. Everyone has a choice. You chose to hurt me. I tell them, you have a choice. I don't care if they're blackmailing you. They blackmailed me too. They threatened to murder my fucking children. Yeah. Who does that? No, they blackmailed me too. They tried to force me to be compliant by threatening me. They used coercion and blackmail on me too. Guess what? I said, no, fuck off and go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, remember, when the system is intruding in any way, shape, or form negatively, in any way at all, if it's even trying to communicate with you, whether if it's mental or physical aspects, it's not there to help you usually. Obviously, people want to be left alone, and they're choosing not to otherwise, but it's still about manipulating in any way, shape, or form. So just understand, as soon as it's trying to intrude negatively, don't even give it time or space, dude, because it just wants time or space. So if it's like, whatever it does, dude, I don't know, dude, over after what I've studied, it has to be a team of generosity and team of weird fucking people. Like you don't do this shit and target individuals aside, just other people, other types of subjects as well. Shit's sick, dude, and it's really, really wild and really, really abnormal. And what TIs go through is holy they're a gigantic whistleblower, whether they feel any way or not. TIs have so much information. They're living proof of something that doesn't want to be discovered. And you can touch in a lot of factual stuff, whether people want to talk about speculation or theories. You can touch in many factual stuff to the TI shit. And I don't know, just keep going. And everything that TIs are doing, it is helping and it is working and it really is changing people's lives, whether they want to give it credit or not, or do that ignorant shit, which is the main shit that they're gonna do. Just keep going because it's going good, dude. And
do you have, hey, Peace Punks, do you have any plans for TI Day? Are you gonna go to Sherry and Nikki?
Oh, so I actually was just there. I went to AZ and I tried because I'm not too sure yet. I'm in the process of moving, and
Okay.
I have a lot of other stuff I'm going to be doing, but ultimately TI Day, I definitely want to make room for it. I really like this cause. It's absolutely it's so inhumane, and it's like one of the, I would say whatever it is, whether TI stuff aside or not, it's it touches with some of the most futuristic, abnormal, weird stuff in the universe, and it's such a high level of just weird shit, dude. And I definitely will make time aside, but it would have to be on the East Coast.
Okay. All right. So
the East, you're moving to the East Coast.
Oh, I'm already on the East Coast.
Oh, what state?
Rhode Island.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, I travel miles for those interviews, dude, 100%. And I try to make the best out of other stuff too. It's not just interviews I'm doing, but ultimately, I travel miles for those interviews, and I really try and reach out to so many people. And
okay.
yeah, dude.
It's good. So any last words? Any last words before we end?
I love you guys.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Anytime.
Thought police are real.
Kerry, any last words, Kerry?
Yes, the thought police are real.
The thought police are real. So it's we've been having this Zoom meetings last year, but we kind of cut it because there were a little bit of arguments and stuff like that. Some people try to argue and all that. So I stopped it, and now we're bringing it back. So hopefully we could attract more people. And if you guys give me a permission, I'm gonna upload this video in our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's all good 100%. And I was gonna say, if you ever do want to tag yourself or any of your stuff on the Facebook page, Peace Punks, feel free.
Okay, we'll do that. Awesome. All right. So thank you very much, guys, for attending, and I'll see you guys next week.
Anytime, kick ass and fuck those motherfuckers, dude.
Oh yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.